Most people think success fixes burnout, and my gosh, is that a dangerous association. I built a 7-figure business and found out that that's just not true. Hit the number I said I always wanted to hit and got everything, got the people, brought my time back, traveled the world, and I felt literally more empty than before I even had those things. So this isn't a discipline problem. You don't need more willpower. You don't need to push harder. You don't need more motivation. There's one belief that ran my whole life without me even knowing it was there. So stick with me because by the end of this, you'll probably see it running in yours too. Welcome back to Built for Impact. I'm Jake Burhans, and this is the podcast where inner peace meets high performance and where building your dream life starts from the inside out. So today we're going to dive back into my story. Haven't dove back into it since the first episode. If you're in the school community, I have a pinned document there talking about my story kind of more in depth, more vulnerable, I think, than the first episode. And I kind of just wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that here in this episode. So my journey begins as a hockey player. When I was younger, around 10 to 12 years old, was the first time that I got validation and love from something that I did. So as a younger kid growing up, I kind of got picked on a little bit. And I had some friends growing up, not like a ton though. I always felt like I was trying to fit in. And I had little like facial tics and things like that, which I still kind of have to this day, but they're much more controlled. But I get picked on for that and stuff. So when I found hockey and I was good at hockey, like I was as good as anyone else, if not among the better people started to look at me differently and treat me differently. And I was like, oh, I like this. I like this. I couldn't get the love from just being myself. That's how it is a lot of times for kids, right? Because kids can be cruel, other kids. But I made that association. It was a deadly association that, oh my gosh, what I do is who I am. So if they gave me love for, being this good, I wonder if I got to this level and made this team and did all these things, I'd get more and more and more and more and more appreciation. So I made that association as a kid and, I just went all in for 9 years. I mean, I started hockey when I was 5, but then I switched to goalie at 10, goalie. And then 10 to 19, that's all I did. And I burned myself out doing it because this is what I would do in the summertime. I would wake up, work out, lift for an hour, conditioning for 30 minutes. So about a 90 minutes of intense workout. The most intense workouts I ever did, I still don't go that hard, but 90 minutes of working out, lifting, and intense conditioning, drive an hour to work construction for 10 hours, digging holes, site work. And then I'd come home on some days and have hockey practice and hockey training. Insane days. And I did that for almost a decade of just like grinding. So, well, I guess I started working it when I was 14. So maybe like 5 years of that really hard stuff. But yeah, I just poured myself into hockey. That's all I cared about. It's like, I did love to play hockey. And the thing about hockey was like, I love practice because I didn't know how to deal with my stress or my anxiety. So I really resisted games because I'd feel stress and anxiety and I didn't know how to deal with that. Like if I would have known that I wasn't my thoughts and I could let them go and I was just dysregulated, I need to calm my nervous system. If I could have gotten comfortable with stress and anxiety in my body, I would have made it much further in hockey. Because I had like a lot of us do, had the skill, but the mental component, which is really like 70% of it, I feel like I did not have. But I ended up, burning myself out. I tore my meniscus because obviously my body couldn't take it at 19 years old. And I remember coming out of the doctor's office and just being like, I am so done with hockey. And really it wasn't that I was done with hockey. I was done like running myself into the ground all the time. Like, because I was running around in survival mode that whole time. Anxious, stressed out, grinding. I was chasing every team, right? It was about like wearing the jacket and being on varsity and making the best team so people would look at me different and all this stuff. And I was just exhausted doing that. And I remember saying like, I don't even care about any of this anymore. And I never thought I'd say that because I was so dedicated to hockey. But I was like, I just want to buy a house and just like raise a family and go to college and just be a normal person. But it's really my body just like tapping out and being like, man, we can't do this anymore. So then I go into college, right? Have a year of recovery. And I did chill out that year. I watched like all of Game of Thrones, binge watch that. But then I get into college. And for the first freshman year of college, I kind of just, drank a lot and did a bunch of whatever, just didn't really do much schoolwork. But after that, then it was the same dance, different song. Same song, different dance, whatever they say. But it was like, It's just a different jersey. I put on my academic jersey and here I am, 20 credits a semester, accounting, finance, investment banking club, fraternity, all this stuff, gonna get the best internships, just like trying to be somebody in business. And then I just did the same thing, burn myself out, neglecting other areas of my life. And then it rolls into entrepreneurship. I'm rolling into entrepreneurship. And again, I'm like, okay, if I can make money, I actually clearly remember after hockey, I was like, what am I gonna do? And I was like, oh, I need to make money. I've never had money. I remember thinking that actually after in the year after I got hurt when I was maybe 20, that's really spurred the next 7 years of my life, 6, 7 years, just chasing things that would make me money. And again, still not feeling like I was enough. I didn't feel like I was inherently worthy of anything. I feel like I had to accomplish things and do things to be somebody. It caused me a lot of stress and anxiety in my life. Couldn't really enjoy the process because I was always chasing things that put me into survival mode, this low grade mode of panic. My prefrontal cortex went offline. My perception was narrowed. I didn't have as much energy. I was always angry. I think that's where a lot of my anger came from, just because I was so exhausted all the time. And it rolled right into entrepreneurship. 3 years just grinding myself in the ground. Same thing. Again, just different jersey. Same game of burning myself out. And then, at one point, I just remember, and then I would go out of my house. It just I was so exhausted from being in survival mode all day long. I would go out of my apartment and just drive and just be looking at this, literally looking up, be like, God, there has to be a better way. I can't do this anymore. It's absolutely brutal. And I was making more money than I ever had. We'd make 40 grand in a single check, 50, 60, 80 grand. These are things people make in a whole year. And I would just get them in a single check. And I was just my expenses are only $4,000, $4,000 or $5,000. I'm just but it didn't fix my problems. I was still stressed, still anxious, still worrying about money. And then I scaled the business up and I got my time back and none of this stuff fixed it. I kept thinking it was going to fix it. I'm like, dude, when are you going to wake the freak up? You thought hockey was going to do it. You thought college was going to do it. You thought getting good grades and being in these clubs and you thought business and money and all, nothing's going to do it. And that's when I realized that nothing external is ever going to fix my internal problems. And that's the realization you need to come to. Nothing outside of you is ever going to fix your problems. So it's learning how to cultivate the state of being of peace and gratitude and love right now, not waiting for some future circumstance in your life, because life is always changing. If you're tying your internal states of being to life, which is inevitably just going to continue to change, that's just the nature of life, then you're constantly going to be suffering because you're trying to keep everything in your life. And, you're worried about losing things. It just puts you into, again, a dysregulated nervous system state, which drains your energy, makes you reactive, inhibits your ability to problem solve, all these things. So the moral of the story here is that you need to understand that you are enough right now. Let me tell you something about value. What makes something valuable? Scarcity. Gold is scarce, right? There's only so much of it, so it's valuable. Diamond, even less of it, right? It's more scarce, so it becomes more valuable. How many of you are there in the world? There's only one out of over 7 billion. So talk about freaking value. Are you kidding me? It's literally only one of you with your unique skills and abilities and talents and interests. So lean into those things. Our inner child is hurt because we tried to be ourselves when we were younger and we were rejected. So we created this mask of who we thought we needed to be. Understand that your value, your unique gifts and talents and what lights you up and your passion is your gift to the world. You were given those talents for a reason. So lean into those things. Let go of this mask, this version of yourself you feel like you need to be. You don't need to be that person. It's draining being that person. And the worst part about it is you attract people that like that version of you who's not even you. So when you can let that go, you might shred some friends and people, but they weren't your real friends to begin with anyways. So understand that we need to cultivate these internal states of being. So I want you to reflect this week, when you're doing things this week, are you doing it because you feel inspired to do it or because you feel like you need to compensate because you need to be enough? If you don't get this, you're going to be nothing. So we need to reflect on, right? For years, I thought the answer was more effort, more proof, more winning, but it's not. Okay. You don't have to earn the right to be loved or appreciated or grateful or peaceful. Okay. And you don't have to earn the right to rest either. Now, I'm not saying be lazy, but that's not who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the people who are burning the freaking candle at both ends. If this helped you in any way, getting inside the Built community is going to be your best into all of this. Share this episode with someone. We're on a global mission to help entrepreneurs and high performers build from peace instead of pressure. All right. Coming out with these every single Monday. So if you haven't subscribed, do that. If you get any value out of the podcast as well, you can leave a rating. I would appreciate it. And until next time, all the peace, all the power.